Say I am going to the market in Pidgin English.
I dey go market.
Hello everyone. Today you are learning about Nigerian Pidgin English and you are watching for the culture and CharisMaggietv.
What up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another season of Fiddle Culture. Y'all know we are starting this off strong this year, okay? And for today, I have an awesome guest. Her name is Abigail. And as you can see by the title of the video, we're going to be learning a bit about Nigerian Pidgin English or Nigerian English. So thank you for being here with me, Abigail.
No worries. I'm happy to be here.
Well, funny enough, the internet works in very mysterious ways because for those of you who've been following this series for a while now, you know that a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago, I started exploring different Creole languages, mainly focusing on like French based ones, but we also have English based Creole languages. So I thought about, I really would want to have someone come on talking about, Nigerian English because I grew up watching Nigerian films. Like I grew up in Jamaica. There was a channel 58. It was just Nigerian movies. So I've heard the language time and time again, but I don't know anything about it. So I said, let me find somebody. And lo and behold, one of my followers, she shared Abigail's video of her talking about it. And so I'm like, I have to get her on the channel for her to do a video with me.
Yes.
So
Yes,
here
for
she
sure.
is. All right.
I, I definitely know the movies you're talking about. I'm guessing they're the short guys, Aki and Papa,
Them, yes,
and
I,
the
I
other
watched a lot
ones,
of
yeah.
them. Yeah, there was one called Beyonce.
Beyonce
Um,
and Rihanna.
that was a hot mess. If you can
Yeah.
relate, drop a
Oh,
comment below, y'all. If
yes.
you can relate to what we're talking about, those throwback movies, yes, love it.
The best.
Right? But yeah, we hear a lot of like pidgin English spoken in it. And I always like, as I got more curious about languages, I'm like, as someone who also knows Jamaican patois, I'm
Mhm,
like, there are some similarities I feel like I could understand, even when you hear Afrobeats from the singers when they do
mhm,
sing pidgin Nigerian English in it as well. You can understand from time to time, even as someone who's not Nigerian. So I want
mhm.
us to explore that today. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. So we're going to start off with, y'all know how we start off this video. So I've already done videos about Nigeria. You can check out the one about Nigerian weddings, also the significance of Nigerian names. I'll link the videos below. Just know that Nigeria is a country in West Africa. Okay? Go Google the rest for yourself if you want to learn more. Let's start off with some other questions though. Roughly, how many languages does Nigeria have?
So Nigeria has over 500 languages. And I know that like the whole Nigeria ethnic tribes thing, I feel like most people outside of Nigeria, they only know like Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba.
Yeah.
So most of the time when I meet someone like you that's not Nigerian, they'll say, "Oh, are you Igbo or are you Yoruba?" And I'm like, "Nope, I'm not." And then they're like, "Oh, are you Hausa?" And I'm no, I'm not. So like Nigeria has a lot of ethnic groups and they also have like a lot of languages under the ethnic groups. So like every ethnic group probably has like some languages and then they also have sub ethnic groups that have their own languages. So that's why we have like 500 over 500 languages in Nigeria. Crazy, right?
Wow, that is jeez. So then, okay, so you mentioned you're not Yoruba, you're not Igbo. So which group are you then?
I'm from Edo. So on in Edo, there are like maybe
Oh,
like five more than five ethnic groups in Edo State. So I'm from Benin. Yeah.
see, I learned something new every day.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll learn a bit more about
Mm-hmm.
another time.
Yes.
So, okay, so in that case, then seeing that there are 500 different languages, I'm guessing the way for you all to understand each other, then that means Nigerian English is like that common language that
Yes.
everyone knows. Then,
Yes. I'll say mostly like English language,
mm.
but Pidgin English. is what we
Yeah.
call it. Pidgin English or pidgin is what like people speak in like casual areas. It's very rare for you to hear pidgin English in a formal setting, but in the places like market, the bus station, in your friend gatherings, they'll probably be speaking a mix of pidgin English and regular English. So yeah.
So, we've been mentioning this word a lot, the word pigeon. In your own opinion, or like from what you know, what would you say is a pigeon language?
So in my opinion, I'll say a pidgin language is like a simplified way of communication. Like in Nigeria, we'll see pidgin English as a simpler way of English. Because pidgin English does not take into account past tense, present tense, some unnecessary prepositions. Everything is way easier with Nigerian pidgin English. There are some women in the market that can fluently speak Nigerian pidgin English, but they are not good with English at all. For example, my grandmom, she could understand pidgin English and maybe speak a little bit of pidgin English, but she could not understand English at all. So, and another thing is there's like another side of this whole thing about pidgin English is that I understand that Pidgin English has its own grammatical structure, like there's subject, verb, object with Pidgin English, but in the same vein, it's also derived from English and it's a simpler form of English. So that kind of rounds up like what I consider to be Pidgin English, especially Nigerian Pidgin English.
Okay. Okay. Well, that makes sense because you mentioned, I mean, a country with over 500 languages and
Exactly.
everyone's speaking something different, then of course, Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense. And we're gonna have some examples later on in the video, so stay tuned for that, guys. But for right now, let's get into knowing some of the history behind Pidgin English. So
Exactly.
give us a brief history of the Pidgin English.
Yeah, I was going to mention that just now when you said a country with over 500 language. So Pidgin English did not necessarily start because we did not have a way to communicate with each other. I'm not sure how they used to do it before English came, but Pidgin English basically started because the British came in for colonization, and in order for also like how Pidgin English is two groups of people trying to communicate, they make the language more simple for them. So the British people came trying to communicate in English, and English is not our first language, right? So we'll make it easier for us. But before the British people came, the Portuguese people came first. So that's why in Pidgin English, you probably have some words like sabi, which means to know, Pekin, which means child. And then when the British people came, English influenced the Pidgin English, and that's why there's Pidgin English. There's also an argument about how Creole from Sierra Leone also influenced Nigerian Pidgin English. So that's the history of Pidgin English. So Portuguese, English, and then Sierra Leone Creole from some other arguments is what Pidgin English is derived from. Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh, see, you get my drift. I told her a brief history. She was like, this is it, clear to the
Brief, brief.
point. Y'all can't say you're confused now, okay? That was so easy to understand.
Mhm.
If you've been loving this video so far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also like and share. Leave us a little comment too, it helps us with the algorithm. If you don't want to miss out on other videos like this one, at the end of watching it, remember to turn on your post notifications. Now, let's get back to the video.
I want to learn how to say some phrases, some words,
Okay.
greetings, all of that. So I don't know if this is like one of the things that you can probably help me understand how to say, but let's start off easy. Personal
Mhm.
pronouns. I think it's easy enough.
Okay, so for personal pronouns, let's say, for example, he is going to school. Instead of us to say he, which is like a bit harder I don't know whether it's harder for some people, but they just say he, they go school instead of he is going to school. So he, they go school. And then if she, I think we use she to she, they go school, right? And then when it's like them, they are going to school, them is what we
Them.
use as them. Yeah.
Okay, so how you say I? Let's start from the top. All right,
I.
I.
I
Uh-huh.
is I. I
I is
is I.
I. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and you said he is.
E,
E?
just E.
Just
Yeah,
the E.
yeah.
Ah, and then she is she?
She is she, and then it depends on the kind of the kind of story you're telling. Sometimes you already know that the person understands that you're talking about a woman, so you can just refer to the woman as E, like see as she they go, instead of saying
Ah,
see as she they go. See as she they go
gotcha.
sounds too
Just to make
English.
it flow.
Exactly,
Yeah.
to make it flow, to create that flow and niceness, and you say see as they go, right?
Okay, cool. And then what is we?
we we they go school.
Oh, so just
We dey
we.
go school. We
Okay.
dey go
So
school.
it's I, he, she, we,
Yes,
and them.
and them. Yeah,
Okay.
and
See,
them.
I know the them. I know the them.
I think they're similar to patois too.
Yeah, that's
Them,
how I was
yeah,
like, oh, word.
because
Okay.
Nigerians understand patois and Jamaicans understand
Yeah.
pidgin English because it's like very very similar. I don't think I've ever been in a Jamaican gathering and I don't understand what they're
What they're
saying.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so interesting because like I'm just looking back at like all of the songs that I know and like whenever that they mix in, whether they're mixing in like pidgin with like probably like their language, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I know what you're saying, like Idego or like one for me
Exactly.
or something. I'm like,
Exactly. Like it's very 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 similar in that sense.
yeah. See, we need more collabs for all the artists out there. We need more Caribbean
Yes.
African collabs, okay?
100%. Like, I'm definitely rooting for that because Caribbean culture, especially Jamaican culture and Nigerian and Ghanaian culture, they're like the
Very
same.
similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been telling my friend that anytime I crave going home, maybe Nigeria, the first flight I check is Jamaica because I know that is the
Yeah.
closest feeling to home that I can get from Canada. So, yeah.
Man, so true. But yeah, my bucket list, yeah, yeah. One day when you see me in Nigeria, just know I'm getting my practice in, I getting my practice so I know how to go to the market and speak and
Mhm.
everything. I don't want to feel like a tourist, okay?
You'll be
I'm a
fine.
I will be a Nigerian when I reach. All right, so I know personal pronouns all that. Okay,
Mhm.
so let's do some greetings. Yes, that
Mhm.
would be the next thing that I need to know.
Yes. So for greetings, some greetings don't have like a literal meaning. They are just
Oh,
like greetings. Like for example, if you see your friend outside, you say something like how far? Like how HOW far. I
oh,
know like it sounds like how far are you going?
but
But
it's not.
it just means like how far, like what's going on with you? How far? And another one is
Hmm.
how body, like how body, like your body, like how
Oh,
body.
how
And
body.
yeah, so if somebody tells you how far, or if they ask you, oh Maggie, how far now? They can add now at the end just to make it more casual. How far now? You say something like, oh, I do.
I
I
do.
did. I did just means like I'm here, right? And
Oh,
then oh, so like because there are a lot of languages in Nigeria, but the main ones are Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba. There are a lot of Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba like phrases in pidgin English. Like you see that oh, it's a Yoruba thing. Most Yoruba people
oh,
you do oh at the end. Pele o.
oh. Okay, so what's a Igbo phrase then that's in?
So that is in pidgin, it'll be like maybe biko. They'll probably use instead of them saying please. So normally please in pidgin means I beg.
Yeah, I
Like
beg.
I beg, but instead of I they'll say I beg, right? But an Igbo person will probably say biko, give me my book. Like
Biko.
please biko, give me my book, exactly, like
Ah.
please. And then for Hausa, instead of them saying you are going to school, right, like they'll say you they go school ba. So ba is like
Is
I
that
don't know
that
if
question mark?
it's like exactly. So
Ah.
another thing is I don't know if ba is exactly Hausa, but I know that they use ba a lot in the north, and in the north Hausa is the main language. So I think it's a little bit safe to assume that ba haba
Mhm.
is like Hausa. So yeah.
Oh wow. I like
Mhm.
that. Okay, so then there's an expression I see online a lot. Sha. What?
Sha, yes. I think Sha is Yoruba too.
Okay.
Sha is like I think Sha is kind of like an emphasis. It's like
Yeah.
Sha like I don't know sha. Like
Yeah, I always
I don't
see
know
it.
sha. But anyhow sha is like it's just some kind of emphasis. Like
Okay.
English is a little bit, no offense to
Boring.
anybody, English is a bit boring. So you know what Trevor Noah said is like Nigerians they add the emotions to English. Like
Yes.
I don't know sha. Anyhow sha. Let's just be going sha. Like just some kind of even now. Let's go now. It's just emphasis. Just
True.
emphasis.
I hear that a lot. Okay, so I learned I beg, how far, how
Biko,
body, eco,
ba.
ba. How do I say like I don't know if like do you say like good night or anything like that, or is it the same just saying how far?
Um, yeah, good night probably be just bye bye, I beg, see you tomorrow.
Oh,
Or
okay.
yeah, or tomorrow now. We go see tomorrow. I don't think I've
Oh.
heard somebody that is like a pidgin English person necessarily saying, "Oh, good night." Nah, that sounds
Yeah.
very
It's like bye,
very
see you
English.
later. Yeah.
Yeah. They'll just say, I beg now, we go see tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye. Or I
Oh.
beg, we go link up tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay. Ah, listen, my Nigerian friends, watch out now.
We go link up tomorrow.
We,
I make sure
we,
you are doing the hand movements too. We go link
yeah.
up tomorrow.
Oh man. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. Honestly, y'all, the only thing I can say is learning a different language, especially like something like Nigerian Pidgin English, like it's about like a vibe, just being around the people and you're picking up things, because I will say for
Exactly.
myself a lot of the stuff that I've learned from Nigerian Pidgin is because I was around Nigerians and just hear them speak,
Yeah.
and when they said something I'm like what does that mean, and they're like, oh, it's just an expression for this, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, and then I find myself
Saying it. Like, oh, I have this Tanzanian friend that met me in Canada, and everything I say, I'm like, I beg, don't be late, oh. And then now she's talking to me, it's like, please, oh, I beg, go.
it's
It's just
very hard.
emphasis. There's
It's
no
hard not to pick it
literal,
up. Yeah.
exactly, translation or some things, but it's
Mm,
just the way it is. Like maybe some people can translate it, but I find it really hard to translate some parts of pidgin. I just tell you when you can use it, but
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, cool. I think we got a pretty good lesson now.
But yeah, and one more thing.
Oh,
Sorry.
no worries.
I feel like pidgin English is very deep. Learning pidgin English is like learning a new language. So like if you want your pidgin English, maybe you are trying to learn pidgin English for the first time, you need to know about the verbs. So most of the time in pidgin English, there's no is, be, like the being verb, it gets replaced with dey, right?
Oh.
So when you say I am going to school, I they go school. That's what makes pidgin English easier because you don't need to say I am going to school, she is going to school, I they go school, she they go school, them they go school.
Mm.
So like it's just the same thing for all the pronouns.
Yeah.
You don't need to conjugate or change anything. And that's what makes pidgin English easy. Like sometimes I just wish I could even do my interviews in pidgin English so that I don't have to be talking and talking. But yeah, pidgin English is good, especially for people that cannot necessarily speak English, like some of them in Nigeria. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So then like just like to be is the verb de.
They, yes,
What
DEY.
are other verbs?
Okay, so it depends on the verb. Let me think of a sentence that does not have the verb being. Let's say she went to school.
Okay.
She went to school, right? There's no past tense in pidgin English. She went to school. She go school yesterday. Like we always use
Oh.
the normal form of the verb. She go school yesterday and then she ate the food. She don't chop the food though.
Oh.
Oh
Got
yeah, there's
you.
no it. I feel like pidgin English is something I don't even know if I can even teach pidgin English because I'm not entire. The other day I was trying to create something like a lesson
Yeah.
in pidgin English, and I'm like, the more I try to create a formula for pidgin English, the more I find exceptions. Like I find out that maybe you use they for some things, and then there was one exception I found out, but I forgot to write it down. Um,
Hmm.
Maybe why are you dancing? Why you did dance? I don't know. I don't know. But I definitely found some exceptions in some of them. And yeah, pidgin English is just something that you learn, you practice as you go. So oh, and
Okay.
there are new slangs every year, like maybe every month, and you have to update yourself. Because back then in high school, I feel like I'm talking too much.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
But you have to update. Like, for example, owning a software, there are like always new versions, and you definitely, or a MacBook, you need to update the version of your MacBook every 3 months or every 6 months, whenever a new version comes out. The same thing with Pidgin English, it's changing all the time. Like, there are new slangs coming up every time, new slangs coming up all the time. And back then in high school, that's 2015, if you crack a joke to me and it's not really nice, I'll
Mm-hmm.
just say, I beg you bust. That back then. But
Yes.
now nobody says it anymore.
Oh,
Like nobody says. And back then, I don't know if you have heard this phrase on TikTok. It's like, "Shay you they whine me."
yes.
Shay they whine me. Yeah. Back then there was no Shay they whine me. But now there's Shay they whine me. So it's like an updated version. So you just need to keep updating yourself. If not, when you spell something, you're like, I can't remember the last time I heard that, and then you just look uncool. But yeah, you need to
Oh.
keep updating your vocabulary in pidgin English all the time.
No,
Sometimes
I
I even
get
feel
you.
like I'm still backwards, but yeah, pidgin English is continuously
Huh.
changing, and that's the most beautiful thing about the language. I love
It's
it.
always evolved. Yeah, it keeps you on your
Always evolving.
toes. That's for sure.
Exactly, and it keeps getting sweeter and sweeter every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, pretty similar because it's the same. Every day
Mhm.
there's like a new, like lingo in Jamaica as well. You have
Exactly.
to like out with the old. And like if you say it, it's
And
like
in with the
I
new.
can't remember when somebody said that. So yeah, I totally
Yeah.
get that. Okay.
Hmm.
So I want to see if I've been paying attention.
Okay.
So you're gonna quiz me on some phrases. So let's see,
Okay.
audience, how Maggie does today. I'm pretty good at this sometimes.
I'm rooting for you. Okay. Okay, I'm going to ask you to translate some phrases to Pidgin English. And then for some of them, I'll ask you to translate what I said to English.
Okay. All
Are you
right.
scared?
I know I'm not.
Okay. So say I am going to the market in Pidgin English.
I they go market.
say Say please give me my bag and make sure that you add some emphasis to it. Say please give
Okay.
me my bag.
I better give me my bag now.
you are you are Nigeria ready. You are
Listen, them
Nigeria.
movies. I'm telling
Ah,
you, those movies every Saturday and Sunday evening, it was me in front of that TV, channel 58. Okay. If you live in
wow.
Jamaica, you know what channel I'm talking about. It
It's the way
prepared
you raise
me.
your hand, like that was so good. That was so good. That was amazing. Okay. Now you're going to translate what I said, what my pidgin English to English.
Okay.
Maybe you may not know this one, but I'll just let you have the chance. Abeg comot for my domot.
I beg. Okay, so please get out of my face.
Domot is like, okay, it's like yard.
Oh, okay. I learned something new. Okay. Add that to my
Exactly. And okay, abeg, you don't see my pikin.
Please, you don't see my child.
Have you seen my child? Hey! Nice, nice. That was really, really good. That was
Do they have a card
amazing.
game for this? They should have a card. If there's not one,
There's this Nigerian card company called Culture Games, and they have like Nigerian related card games. So yeah, they should
huh?
probably do a flashcard for people to learn Pidgin English.
Yeah, that would be cool. I need to
Yeah,
check
I
them
can reach
out
out to them
though.
about Culture Games.
Culture
Yeah,
game.
that's
Y'all check them
amazing.
out.
Yes, yes, they're amazing, especially for Nigerian and African related like information. They're the best for sure.
Oh, I love that. See,
Yes.
I did well. I Everybody in the comments, let me know out of 10, okay? How Nigerian am I now?
All
Oh
right.
man. Wow,
Yeah.
I want to thank you so much. This was fun. Like, this is one of my funnest interviews. I learned a lot. I laughed a lot. But I'm not going to let you go without plugging yourself because y'all need to follow Abigail on Instagram and on
Yeah.
TikTok. If you, especially if you're trying to like explore African countries and be a tourist in Africa, please check out her content. Really good stuff. Let them know your handles.
Yes. So on Instagram, my handle is just my name on the screen, Abigail underscore ISE. And then on TikTok is also the same thing. I'm still working on a blog, and once the blog is up, it will be up on my Instagram,
Hey.
and I'll announce and let everybody know. But yeah, I'm looking forward
Hey.
to meeting everyone, and I'm also looking to explore more of the Caribbeans in the
Yes.
next year. Probably spend like a month in Jamaica to see how
Oh,
it goes. Yeah.
okay. Wow, yes, Miss Traveler. Like honestly, like if you want to hook up for Airbnbs and places, you want to
Yes,
find
please.
fun activities to do, places to eat, and we
Yes.
also connected over our love for culture. So she also does content sharing African history and culture. So give her a follow, y'all. Please support my sister, okay?
Thank you.
No problem. And thank you all for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video as much as we did. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Did you enjoy that video? Well, you'll enjoy more videos like it by clicking over here. So, tap to watch now.